Hello, I'm Brannon Howse, and thank you for joining us for the next few minutes as I demonstrate for you what I think is one of the most important projects that we've been working on for many years and will continue to work on for many years to come. You know, I've written many books and we've produced thousands of radio shows and hundreds of television shows. And many of you appreciate those broadcasts. And we appreciate the fact that you appreciate them. But we also hear from many of you that email us regularly with questions that frankly are answered in many of those television broadcasts or radio broadcasts. But you can't remember the answer, and you want to get a quick response so you can share that information with a family member or a friend. Well, a few years ago, this led me to develop what we call Worldviewpedia. If you go to worldviewpedia.com, you'll see the homepage that looks very similar to what you have right here on the screen. And what I've done is I've taken all my years of books and many of our radio shows and television shows, and we have loaded them into Worldviewpedia. We've had many of our radio shows and television shows transcribed by a transcription service out of Los Angeles. And then we meticulously go through that transcript and break it into small chunks, and then we tag it and code it with the topics and people's names that are being discussed in that transcript. So you can quickly find answers to your questions. In fact, if you're a member of the Situation Room, you're automatically a member of Worldviewpedia. We don't charge for you to join an extra club. In fact, you get worldviewpedia.com as your membership to situationroom.net, which is years and years of our radio shows, TV shows, conference DVDs, and documentaries archived there at situationroom.net. So if you're a member of situationroom.net, you're a member of Worldviewpedia. So what we've done is taken, well, everything from my first book, Cradle to College and Educational Abduction. We've taken parts of that and transcribed it and put it into Worldviewpedia. Reclaiming a Nation at Risk, a book I wrote in 1995. I wrote the first one in 93. I wrote this one in 95. Then I wrote One Nation Under Man. And we have many of our other books. My most popular book at one time was, I think still is, Grave Influence, 21 Radicals Ruling America from the Grave. That has been dumped into Worldviewpedia. Now the ebooks, these books are in an ebook format in the Situation Room under our library tab. But again, we've taken these books and we've dropped them into Worldviewpedia in small chunks in their totality so you can search them. So whether it's Building a Biblical Worldview Verse by Verse, Christian Worldview for Students Volume 1 and Volume 2, Christian Worldview for Children, Religious Trojan Horse, The Coming Religious Reich, Twisted Scripture, Twisted Theology, What Every Christian Should Know, and most recently, Marxianity. All of them have been put into Worldviewpedia so you can research this. But not just the books, many of our radio shows and TV shows. In fact, we also recently added all 6 hours of our docu-movie, Sabotage. All 6 hours are in the Situation Room under the Library tab and then DVDs. Now don't forget, if you're a member of situationroom.net, you're also a member of Worldviewpedia. Let me show you how it works real quick. Let's say you want to get some information to share with a family member on what is the Hegelian dialectic process. You just go to the search box and you type that in. Let me tell you something. If you don't understand the Hegelian dialectic process, you don't understand the neo-Marxist revolution that they are attempting in America today. Now, these are big words: Hegelian dialectic process, communitarianism, Fabian socialism. But we don't need to be afraid of these big words because we have made this software where you can quickly understand in layman terms what this philosophy is so you can understand the times and understand the trends that are coming so you can be prepared. So we just type in Hegelian dialectic process, hit return. All right, it brings us to a lot of different articles, excerpts from my books, transcripts from radio shows and TV shows that are dealing, look at all the many pages you could go through. But let's just pick one. Okay, again, this has been coded so it brings up anything that's discussing the Hegelian dialectic process and Marxism. So let's just pick one here. Let's go to this one. The dialectic misinformation among us. All right, we click on it and there's a full transcript that we can read about what is the Hegelian dialectic process. We have a quote here by Julian Huxley of the United Nations Education, Scientific, Cultural Organization describing how it works. But then notice off here on the right-hand side, all of these little video clips which will help you to understand what it is. So maybe after you've read about it, you want to actually hear about it. Well, you could actually go to a clip. This is a short clip. David Platt declares that progressives and conservatives need to blend their values in the church. It's a short little clip. It's not very long. You could click it, start playing it. It's a very short clip.
Think back to that graphic on the screen, which on one hand is extremely discouraging, but I think there's another one.
Now that's just a short clip. If you want to watch a full TV show, you could watch full TV shows we've embedded as well. Here's another clip on the dialectic process of Marxism. Watch this. The dialectic of merging Christianity and Marxism. Here is a picture of a report put out in 1946 by UNESCO, the United Nations Education, Scientific, Cultural Organization. Its purpose and its philosophy by Julian Huxley, its first director. His brother would have been... All right, so that is a small little clip you can watch. And again, we've embedded full television shows as well. All right, let's go off and do another one. We go back to our search box and let's type in another search just to give you an idea how it works. Let's put in social justice and see what we get. Social justice and hit return. All right, a lot of things on social justice, but let's just pick one. How about this one here, socialism by another name? All right, we click it. Again, we can read all about socialism, the different names it hides under, who is considered the father of the social gospel movement, because the social gospel is another name for socialism or social justice. And again, we have plenty of video clips. Sometimes we have so many video clips that they go to 2, 3, 4 other pages, and those new video clips will pop up and you can watch about them. Now let's go back to our search box and let's type in something different. Just again, give you an idea of how quickly you can have this information at your fingertips. Maybe you have a high school student or a college student or a family friend that is asking you questions and you can't remember all this information. Maybe you're even out to dinner. Well, you don't have all these books with you and all the research that you have maybe in files in your home with you, but you have a smartphone with you. Sometimes people have their iPads with them. You could very quickly go over to worldviewpedia.com, type in the topic, the individual, the philosophy, the idea, the worldview, hit return, find transcripts and short video clips to share with them right there. This information is in your hands and portable wherever you go. And again, that's the way we wanted it to be. Very user-friendly. White privilege. A lot of people want to know, what is that? We hear a lot of talk about white privilege. Well, you can just go to the search box, type in white privilege, hit return. Wow, you're going to end up with pages of information on white privilege and those who are promoting it. But let's just simply go to the article. Let's choose this one right here, the top one. All right, there we go. Not so little white lies about white privilege. And it's people who are promoting it, the things they're saying about white privilege, and then we actually refute their ideas. We destroy the arguments they're bringing up, not destroying individuals, but destroying the arguments. False ideas they put up there to say why we have to have white privilege. And white privilege is just another name for social justice. It's a way of being involved in what's called critical race theory. And again, communitarianism, critical race theory, political correctness, cultural Marxism, all these things are connected. And maybe those names and those terms mean nothing to you. Well, with Worldviewpedia, you know exactly what they mean. Not only do we, again, have the transcript that will describe to you what white privilege is, one of many articles, here we have a friend of mine, Michael Massey, on the myth of white privilege.
The idea of white privilege is an anathema to me. This is America. We all have privilege. The problem is that you cannot engage in behavior that is self-defeating in and of itself, make bad decisions, and then expect to have good outcomes. It does not work that way. My good friend and colleague, Dr. Walter E. Williams, said it right on point, and that is, you don't have children before you can buy a pizza. If you can't afford a pizza, don't have children. You don't have children by multiple men, multiple children in the family, 3, 4 different fathers. In 1964, at the signing of the Civil Rights Act, 82% of homes with black people were married 2-parent households. 40% of them were business owners. Today, those numbers have not just flipped. We see 70-some-odd% single-parent homes. We have grandmothers raising the children. No one wants to talk about it in those terms. And when you bring it up, you're vilified and you're accused of not understanding. Well, what I do understand is good behavior. And you cannot behave inappropriately and expect the consequences to favor you.
So you can see we have interviewed many, many experts over the years. I'm talking guys that really know what they're talking about. And then we've taken these clips and embedded them in this powerful software. Let's try another one. Let's try Karl Marx. Maybe you have a young person that wants to know about Karl Marx. Quotes by him, things about Karl Marx, the people that quote Karl Marx. Here are clips embedded on white privilege, which again is promoting Marxism. So a lot of information on just a variety of topics. I just say spend some time here at worldviewpedia.com. Not only do we cover the idea of worldviews as far as people and philosophies and ideas, we also cover theological issues. Maybe you want to know what dispensationalism is. We'll just go in and type in dispensationalism. Hit return. Plenty of articles on that. Let's look for, here we go. What is dispensationalism? How many dispensations are there? Why is it essential to studying the Bible in context? Go to there. Whole transcript of me interviewing Dr. Andy Woods, a real PhD, Dr. Andy Woods. He has his training as a lawyer, also as a pastor. Not only do you have the whole transcript, but we also have embedded video clips on the side again. Also full TV shows. If you want to watch just a short clip, you can do that. If you want to watch full TV shows, you can do that. In Defense of Dispensationalism and Why It Matters, a full television show. This is actually just the transcript of that TV show. So again, we've taken a lot of pain and effort to transcribe many of our radio shows and TV shows, as well as dumping in many of my books. Well, let's try another one. Let's try replacement theology. With the rise of anti-Semitism in America today, many people are wondering, why is anti-Semitism now so popular within evangelicalism? Well, that's because many pastors are teaching what's called replacement theology. And maybe you don't even know what replacement theology is. Well, good. Here's an article, transcript. What is replacement theology? Click it, read an article about it. Not only that, you're going to get a few options of watching some TV shows on replacement theology, also about Israel, why actually Israel has a legal right to the land, and much more. So a lot of historical information as well. Let's type in another item in the search box. Let's type in Muslim Brotherhood. A lot of talk about Muslim Brotherhood today, which is CARE in America. And then you can find out about their history and their involvement with Adolf Hitler. There you go, right there. All the information about that. Here I'm interviewing former CIA operations officer Claire Lopez. Here's Chris Pinto talking about the partnership between the Muslim Brotherhood and Adolf Hitler. Again, full video clips. In fact, we have so many video clips. Look, it goes to 4 pages. So you just keep clicking next, leaves the transcript there for you, but brings up more video clips for you to watch. Well, here's just a little bit right here. In fact, this video clip here is an excerpt from our movie Sabotage. We've taken all 6 hours of Sabotage, broken those clips up, and scattered them throughout transcripts where they appropriately go. So again, if you want to know about Muslim Brotherhood, well, look at this. Here is a history of Muslim Brotherhood's long history of sabotaging America from within. Just click it and start watching it. You don't even have to leave the transcript page. You can make the screen full if you want.
Well, our first question tonight goes to Shahram Hadi. In 1991, the Muslim Brotherhood Explanatory Memorandum was written. It was not discovered until 2004 in a basement of a jihadi in Northern Virginia. In this document, how does the Muslim Brotherhood plan to sabotage America?
Well, later in my talk tonight, I'm going to be going through specifically the mission statement of the explanatory memorandum.
So that video clip is embedded. That's actually from our 6-hour docu-movie Sabotage, as I said. We've broken those clips up, spread them throughout transcripts. Notice the broadcast quality of all these productions. Folks, you cannot understand the number of hours that have taken to study, film, transcribe, and then code and put all this together. The transcripts, the ebooks, the video clips, just breaking the video clips down and popping them into the appropriate transcripts. We're talking about years and years and years worth of work, and we're always adding to it. Every week, we're adding more to this powerful software, Worldviewpedia. And when you're a member of Worldviewpedia, you're automatically a member of the Situation Room. When you're a member of the Situation Room, you're automatically a member of Worldviewpedia. Again, Worldviewpedia is our powerful software program for searching research with video clips and transcripts. The Situation Room is our years and years of radio shows and TV shows and conference DVDs that are archived. And again, there's nothing else like this. I challenge you to find any software like worldviewpedia.com. I am not aware of anything like it. It has taken us years to develop, and we're adding to it each and every week. And you can join for as little as $9.99 a month. $9.99 a month. Have access to worldviewpedia.com and literally over 20,000 radio shows and TV shows and conference DVD, ebooks, audiobooks inside the Situation Room. So 2 clubs for the price of one for as little as $9.99. You can join for a year for $99. You can join for 2 years at a reduced price. And at the 3-year price, you really save quite a bit of money. Well, let's just do a few more searches here. Again, just showing you the value of this. What if you want to know about interfaith dialogue? A lot of talk about interfaith dialogue today. Just go in and type in interfaith dialogue, hit return, brings up plenty of transcripts, and you can again search through these things and find out more about what is interfaith dialogue, who's promoting interfaith dialogue, who's involved in it, who's defending it. Maybe you want to research, let's see, what else is popular today? Amnesty. Hey, that's a popular one today. What should we be thinking about the issue of amnesty? And who's promoting that? How about this one? Pastors immersed with Muslims and Marxists. Look at that. Transcripts, but also video clips. Lots of video clips. In fact, so many video clips, again, it takes up 3 pages on the side. The transcript always stays there, but the video clips change. Who's promoting amnesty? Who's working with the social justice warriors that are promoting amnesty? Again, this is a lot of information. Maybe you want to buy this membership for your high school student, your college student, maybe for your pastor, certainly for yourself, because again, this is basically what I like to call the Netflix or Amazon Prime for thinking people. The Netflix or Amazon Prime for thinking people. You can spend hours here. And the thing is, this is all footnoted and documented. This isn't someone's opinion that they're just throwing out there. This is historical data, theological, biblical worldview data that is backed up by experts from former CIA, former FBI, former DHS, pastors, people who are pastors who are formerly lawyers, historians, former Muslims, like Shahram Hadian, Usama Dakdok, born and raised in Egypt, Arabic-speaking expert on the Quran. We have loaded this up with experts. This is not like some goofy website where someone's throwing out trash and you're not sure if it's true or not. This is all highly footnoted and documented. Let's put in another word. Maybe you want to know about Martin Luther King Jr. I mean, a lot of people don't know the truth about Martin Luther King Jr. Put in his name, hit return, and what pops up? Many articles about him. In fact, full TV shows and transcripts. Here it is, exposing the real worldview of Martin Luther King Jr. That's the transcript of a 1-hour show. That's a 2 one-hour show. Both TV shows were transcribed, dumped in here, and you can read all about him. Not only that, you can watch a video clip. Here's Trevor Loudon talking about Martin Luther King Jr. Trevor Loudon's an expert on history and communism. Here are the 2 TV shows, the 2 one-hour TV shows I did on that. Here's again another clip about critical race theory and what it is and its ties to cultural Marxism. Again, I know this is politically incorrect, but it's the truth and it's history and we need to know it. Maybe you want to know about the Second Amendment and how it's being attacked and who's attacking the Second Amendment. Just type in the Second Amendment, watch all these articles pop up. Oh, look at that. Ignore the pastors that tell you Christians should not own guns. A full article on pastors literally trying to take your guns. And not only are we telling you about them, we actually provide you with the clips of them saying this. So you don't have to wonder, well, I wonder if Brannon and his team took these people out of context. No, you don't have to wonder. You can watch full video clips on these pastors that want to take away your guns. From John Piper to a whole list of guys here. Watch this. Again, this video clip is from our Sabotage movie. We pulled out the clip, popped it in here in this transcript. Look at this broadcast quality production right on the side of the transcript.
And as KSLA News 12 Jeff Farrell discovered, the clergy would help the government with potentially their biggest problem, us.
Gun confiscation is exactly what happened during the state of emergency following Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans. U.S. troops also arrived, something far easier to do even now thanks to last year's elimination of the 1878 Posse Comitatus Act. That forbid U.S. troops from policing on American soil. If martial law were enacted here at home, like depicted in the movie The Siege, easing public fears and quelling dissent would be critical. And that's exactly what the Clergy Response Team, as it's called, helped accomplish in New Orleans.
Jeff, the primary thing that we say to anybody is let's cooperate and get this thing over with, and then we'll settle the differences once the crisis is over.
Such clergy response teams would walk a tightrope between the needs of the government versus the wishes of the public.
In a lot of cases, these clergy would already be known in the neighborhoods in which they're helping to defuse that situation.
For the clergy, one of the biggest tools that they will have in helping calm the public down or obey the law is the Bible itself, specifically Romans 13.
Because the government's established by the Lord, you know, and that's what we believe in the Christian faith. That's what's stated in the Scripture.
While God allows governments to come into being, that does not mean God approves of every government. To draw an analogy, God allowed the terrorist attacks on September 11th, 2001, but God did not approve of them. When civil government steps outside of God's ordained purposes and persecutes righteous people, promotes evil, and does injustice to the innocent, the moral authority of the civil government has been lost, and Christians are free to disobey. The Apostle Paul in Romans 13 did not instruct us to obey every command of government. While we can hope never to have to disobey the laws of our communities and country in order to walk in good conscience with God, there is no guarantee that we will never be called to civil disobedience. Don't be persuaded by the pansies in the pulpit that spew their ignorance either out of their own free will or because they have become useful idiots for the government in depriving you of your God-given constitutional rights and obligations.
So, no, I'm not a pacifist. I'm not a pacifist. I believe there should be a militia. I believe there should be policemen with billy clubs and guns. They should take out guys that are killing people. And I believe in the military to protect a land from aggression. And I believe that fathers should protect their children, even using force. But if they can avoid killing somebody, of course they should avoid killing somebody. And having a gun is a good way not to avoid killing somebody. We don't need guns in our house. And I'm not against hunters. Good grief. Don't get on my case. You don't write any letters about Piper doesn't believe you should have bows and arrows and rifles and hunting gear. Of course, that's a fully legitimate thing. I'm not going to get in your face if you have a gun lying in your drawer. I just think it's not very wise. Those who live by the gun will die by the gun.
And again, that clip goes on for several more minutes. And again, notice the broadcast quality production of these clips. All of these clips are broadcast quality. This is a state-of-the-art research center at worldviewpedia.com. All right, just a couple more and then we'll let you go. Let's type in another popular thing you could research on. How about hyper-Calvinism? Maybe you want to know what hyper-Calvinism is. All these neo-Calvinists and hyper-Calvinists running around, and you're like, what is all that about? Well, again, here we go. You could watch this show, A Biblical Definition of Man's Depravity, Why the Unsaved Man is Not Dead Like a Rock or a Corpse. It's an interview with Dr. Andy Woods, who again is a pastor. He's the president of a seminary. He's also a trained lawyer. And then look, full TV shows you can watch embedded on understanding what is extreme or hyper Calvinism. Again, how about world government? Maybe you want to research world government. Just type that in, hit return, watch what happens. Whoa, look at all those articles that pop up on that. Here's a good one. Cecil Rhodes, John Ruskins, and their worldview goal of a Eurocentric world government, part 1. It's a full hour TV show, transcribed. Again, not only is it transcribed, but there are video clips in here describing about world government. Notice at the bottom of the pages, every page has a tag. So you have related content. So if you wanted to go over and watch more about that topic, say Daniel 2 in the coming Eurocentric world government, click that. There's a whole interview I did with Dr. Tommy Ice. Maybe come back over here. You want to know more about this guy, John Ruskin. Click John Ruskin, and what will it do? It'll bring you to any articles that deal with John Ruskin. So again, you could spend hours just going around looking. How about Strobe Talbot? This was Bill Clinton's roommate, who also worked at the State Department under Bill Clinton. And you want to know about his call for world government? Again, anyone that's tied up with this is linked. How about Carroll Quigley? He mentored Bill Clinton. He wrote the book Tragedy and Hope. Again, it's all documented and put in here. So you just go from one link to another. You spend hours in here reading, watching video clips. Sometimes they're audio clips, but lots of documentation. Maybe you want to know about sustainable development. That's coming from the United Nations. So just type in sustainable development. Hit return. There you go. How about that? Sustainable development in the United Nations. Again, not only is there an article about explaining briefly what it is, but you can go down here and do more research. Stephen Rockefeller, World Summit on Sustainable Development, United Nations, Maurice Strong, he's heavily involved in it. You can also watch these video clips that explain it. So again, you're getting quick answers on very important topics very, very fast. Now, if you're a member of the Situation Room, you're also a member of Worldviewpedia. So you click on Library inside the Situation Room, and look, it brings up all the ebooks I've written. These are my books that have been put into ebook format, that have now been dumped into Worldviewpedia that you can quickly search. You have all of the curriculum you can download. But look, all the DVDs we've ever produced are also in here as well. Look at all these DVDs that you can watch on demand as a member of the Situation Room. All 6 hours of Sabotage the Movie. Here's a show I did in our studio with Trevor Loudon, how the term conspiracy is used by cultural Marxists to marginalize conservatives. Here's former Muslim, and she was sold as a child bride at 14, Annie Cyrus. Why do Islamists rape non-Muslim women? Here's a TV interview with Jeff Nyquist. What is the end game for Russia and China, and is Putin a communist? I mean, just look at all these. Here's Dr. Peter Pry in our studio, former CIA operations officer and chief of staff of the EMP Commission for Congress. Here's former CIA operations officer Claire Lopez. Look at all the pages and pages. You just click next page and just keep going. All of our conference DVDs from all the years, broadcast quality. Some of them are from our Ozarks conference. Some of them are the conferences we've held right here and live streamed them from our studio. We filmed them in HD, post-edited, dropped in all their clips. You can go for pages and pages on this information. Lots of quality material. Again, this is all a part of the library tab in the Situation Room. And when you're a member of the Situation Room, you're also a member of Worldviewpedia. And maybe you just want to go and look at what TV shows we have. Click on shows. It'll bring up all the shows. There's a lot of shows. There's the Worldview Weekend Hour, Worldview Radio. You can go and watch the TV show of Jimmy D. Young. You can watch the TV show of Shahram Hadian. You can watch the TV show of so many of our hosts. But look at the Worldview Weekend Hours. Click here for see all episodes, and you can stroll through pages and pages. There I'm interviewing Dinah West on the Red Thread. Here I'm interviewing former chief of police out of Georgia, warning about terrorist training camps in the U.S. Here's Alex Newman, America Under Siege, Sustainable Development, Border Crisis and Globalism and Marxianity. These are all one-hour shows. There I am interviewing Tom Littleton, Andy Woods. Here I'm interviewing the Vaughns. Here I'm interviewing Udell Myers on the truth about the Vietnam War and how that was used as an information operation. Here we have our entire Grave Influence class. I've conducted 22 one-hour classes on my book, Grave Influence, 21 Radicals Ruling America from the Grave. I sat at this desk and did 22 hours, 22 one-hour shows with all the PowerPoint on Grave Influence. I did a whole series on brainwashing. If you want to know all about brainwashing, I did a very, very long series on brainwashing. You can watch those many one-hour shows. I interviewed Dr. Peter Breggin on psychotropic drugs. I've interviewed guys on national security issues, Bible prophecy issues, John Leffler, Chris Gobbets, who infiltrated CARE undercover. You can go to the next page. Again, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of radio shows and TV shows I've conducted over the years, all right here in our Situation Room. But not just my shows, all the other broadcasters that we carry are archived in our Situation Room at situationroom.net. So again, if you're a member of Worldviewpedia, you're automatically a member of the Situation Room. You're a member of Situation Room, you're automatically a member of Worldviewpedia. You can join for as little as $9.99 a month. $99 a year, and then a 2-year savings and a 3-year savings. Folks, it's always being added to. We're always updating. We're always having radio shows and TV shows transcribed and dumped in here and coded. So all this information is at your fingertips. Folks, with smartphones today, anybody can join this. Go to worldviewpedia.com, type in the topic, the idea, the worldview, the person, and you can have it at your fingertips. Again, great for high school and college students so that you as parents or grandparents can answer their questions. Great to give as a gift to a pastor or a friend, but certainly for yourself. Again, I refer to it as kind of the thinking person's Netflix or Amazon Prime. You'll spend hours in here watching these TV shows, but then you say, well, I'd really like to have that paragraph or that information or those facts. Well, go into Worldviewpedia. You're likely going to find it's been transcribed and put in there. Now, folks, not only are you helping yourself when you join the Situation Room and Worldviewpedia, you're helping us. This is how we have the capital as capitalists to continue offering up more programs. You see, capitalism is about offering a service, and we're offering you a service. Radio shows, TV shows, this powerful software program, all our shows archived. That's a service we offer. In turn, you subscribe to our service. That brings in the capital that allows us to produce more shows, to pay for the transcription service out of Los Angeles, to pay for all the post-editing and all the time and effort in filming and research and study. So again, when you join, you're not only helping yourself, but you're helping us. If you say, I really appreciate what Brannon Howse and his team does over there, I hope they keep doing that, well, then you need to partner with us. But I think I found a way for you to partner with us and help us out financially while you also get something for it in return. So this is a win-win for everybody. So would you go right now and join at situationroom.net? And remember, when you do, you're automatically a member of Worldviewpedia. Please, don't delay. Go right now to situationroom.net and become a member, either at the monthly rate, the yearly rate, 2-year rate, or 3-year rate. We also have a very strong customer service program. In fact, on our customer support tab, you'll find our email address and the ability to text with us right away so you can get all the customer service you need. So please, join right now, won't you? It's a big, big part of our general operating budget here at WVW Broadcast Network. So promote it to your friends, tweet it, Facebook it, email it, text it to friends. Tell them about it. Get them to join. The more of you that join, the more shows we can produce. The more hosts we can bring in and give them their own shows and continue to grow WVW Broadcast Network to be one of the premier conservative worldview broadcast networks in the world. But all that takes, well, capital. It takes funds. And one way that you can help fund what we're doing and help yourself at the same time and your family and friends is by being a member at situationroom.net. That's situationroom.net. Please, go join right now, situationroom.net, and you're automatically a member of our powerful program, worldviewpedia.com, where members understand the times. Thank you so much for watching and for sharing this with your family and friends right now. And most of all, if you're not a member, thank you for going and joining right now at situationroom.net.